Hello and happy Friday. Hope everybody's having a beautiful day. So in today's live training session, we're going to be doing a live Q&A and we'll be answering any questions you have about your spiritual journey, your spiritual awakening, anything you're looking for some clarity or some guidance on around your spiritual path, right? And so I will give everybody just a moment to sign on. And while we do that, so if you guys have a question, just drop it in the chat. And while I give everybody a moment to log into the live, hold on, let me make sure we're on the Facebook side. Give me 1 second. We'll refresh the screen. Let's see. Okay. All right, beautiful. We're on Facebook as well. Lovely. Okay, how's everybody doing today? All right, so drop your spiritual awakening question in the chat. As soon as you have that, you can drop it in and I will answer it here live. We'll do some training on it. We'll talk about it, whatever questions you have about your spiritual journey, your spiritual awakening. And while I give everybody a moment to jump on the live and sign in, I'm just going to do a really quick collective card pull. I always start off my live trainings that way. So this will just be for the collective. We'll see what's going on. I've got one of my angel decks out here today. So we'll see what words of wisdom we have from the angels today. Okay. All right. So the card that came out today is Holy Love. Very interesting because the first thing I heard when this card came out, I was like, who are you idolizing? Right? And because we don't need to say it's this, oh, it's this holy love, or oh, you're better than me, or oh, it's this worship. The truth is we all come from that same source energy and nobody's better than anybody. We all are here on the spiritual awakening path. We all are here to learn and grow. And so when we put somebody up there of worship or on a pedestal, it's saying that you are better than me and I'm not good enough. And so I think the Holy Love card is here to say that no, I am the Holy Love, but you are the Holy Love, right? I think we're all on the same playing ground. And so that we don't need to put somebody above us, somebody worshiping, somebody on that pedestal. That actually does a lot of blocking with manifestations and stuff like that as well. But knowing that you are that holy love and remembering that somebody else is, everybody else is. So I think that's a really good reminder. Just remembering that love is all that there is, right? Because we are beings of love and light. So, all right, that is the collective card pull. Now we're going to jump into some live training. So whatever question you guys have, just drop in the chat and we'll talk about it and we'll see what's going on. Yogit V from YouTube. Hi, welcome back. Happy to have you here. Is seeing 1111 means that you're going through a spiritual awakening? Great question. Okay. So I started seeing, it's the awakening code, right? The 1111 is because the 1111 means something different than the 111. And even means something different than seeing 5 ones in a row or however many ones in a row. But when you see 4 ones in a row, it literally is the awakening code. So for me, and so for many other clients that I also work with, they see it before they go through the awakening. I saw that number like haunting me for like 6 months. So much like I was like, you see it a few times and you don't really notice it. You're like, oh, cool, 1111, like make a wish or just something, right? Then you start to notice it like, oh, why am I seeing it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day? It's so in your face. And then it got to the point where I was like, I have to look this up. This is really weird. This is odd. Like, how does it ever, like, I could be sitting there, like, watching TV or reading a book, and all of a sudden I know, I'm like, I look at the clock. I don't know. Oh, it's 11:11. Or I grab my phone. Oh, it's 11:11. Oh, I've just paid for something. It cost $11.11. I look up the address. It is 1111 Grass Point Road. I don't know, something. Just, they're on the license plates. They're everywhere. And you're seeing it so much. You're like, this is like bizarre. Like, why is this happening? And you've never seen them before. So for me, I like started looking them up and I was like, oh, I didn't quite get the connection with the spiritual awakening yet though. But I learned that it was an angel number. And so I saw it and I was like, well, this is cool. I'm starting to see it all the time. This is cool, right? But just shortly put to answer your question, Yoga V, yes, it is. Meaning you're either about to go through a spiritual awakening or you are going through a spiritual awakening, because even after you wake up, you might see it again. later. And so we'll have like that mass awakening, the big one that we have, but we have littler levels as we continue to grow. And so I don't see the 11 as much, but I know when I see them, I'm about to go through a big change, a big shift. So you might continue to see them. They'll stick with you for a while. Oh, Joy Austin, we are all as one. Beautiful, lovely. Just as the card was talking about, it's holy love, right? But we are the holy, right? Okay. Yoga V says, I see 6996, C9, 696, and 969. Okay, that means something. Let's talk about this. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Nikola Tesla, but he talks about basically like the power in the three, the sixes, and the nines, and they can kind of answer everything, right? And so to see those two, you're not seeing a 3 and a 7, you're not seeing a 2 and a 4, you're not seeing a 1 and a 9, you're seeing in the 6 and the 9 and all of these repeating patterns. And so those are two of the numbers he talks about. But again, those numbers mean something. Sixes in short are like harmony and balance and love. Oh, sorry, my my mom just walked by with my cat. I was wondering why she was bringing him in, and he was off his harness. I guess he got loose. He's still little, so I got him on like a leash in the backyard. Sorry, I got distracted. But the sixes are love, harmony, balance, partnership with another. It can be like lovers, if the lovers in tarot is six, but it can also mean self-love. Now the nines in numerology are really close to closing a chapter up. The nines in numerology actually do close the chapter up. Like in tarot, you're right there. Nines are a very high vibrational number. Let me say that. So I think it's interesting. But for you, I'm going to say this for you because this is the message I'm getting for you, Yoga V. I feel like the 6 and the 9 and the 9 and the 6, like all these intertwining numbers for you, it's bringing you into this closer self-awareness with yourself, right? And that's that level of love for you. It's about yourself. But that 9 is so high vibe, and I feel like it's also calling you to raise your vibration, but it's bringing it all back to the center of you. And who are you? Literally, the center of you is the center of the universe. But I feel like that's what I'm going to say for you. Okay, that last part isn't going to resonate with everybody, but I was feeling it, so I wanted to bring it in. Okay, Joey Austin from Facebook says, I see 1111 every day today also. That's amazing. Joey, have you gone through a spiritual awakening? Because it could be saying you're about to go through one. And if you haven't, you're probably about to go through another level in your awakening. Okay. Yogit V says, people break your heart or trust. It is a part of soul shock or awake. Oh, is it a part of soul shock or awakening? Okay. So the short answer with people break your heart, well, nobody can allow you to feel anything. Whatever anybody does or says, the only thing you're responsible for is for your reaction. And so how we respond to that, we have to take our own responsibility. But listen, outside of that, there are traumas, there are griefs, there are things that actually happen that do make us sad and all of that stuff that relate to the emotions. So when something happens, no matter what it is, whether somebody dies, whether somebody goes through a breakup, anything that is part of, because you're talking about breaking your heart. So let's just talk about hurting the heart. Why is that happening? Well, why does anything happen? It happens to either teach us a lesson or to help us grow. Because why are we here on earth? We're here for three reasons. One, it's literally all about love. That's number one. It's like literally why we're here, talking about the holy love, right? And then two, we are here to help each other learn and grow. We're here to help each other. The third thing is we're here to learn and grow. And that's part of the soul evolution. That's why we keep coming back many lifetimes, because we're here to learn these karmic lessons. We're here to have our soul expand. And so if somebody comes in, let's give a good example. Let's see. Okay, let's say you got your heart broken by an ex. Okay, why did that happen? Because you did manifest it on some level. You manifested it with that partner on a soul level. Well, why did it happen? Well, maybe you have an abandonment wound. Let's say how they broke up with you is they just stopped talking to you or they ghosted you, right? And so you might have that abandonment wound. And so it was triggersome for you and broke your heart so you could shed that layer of your skin. So you don't feel skin, right? So you don't feel if somebody walks out on you again, you don't get heartbroken by that. So when something like that, part of that happens, it is part of the awakening path. Everything is part of the awakening path. But again, it's happening so we could shed the ego, align with the soul. We're releasing the past. So people come in to trigger us so we can Get rid of the baggage, get rid of the karma, get rid of core wounds such as the abandonment. That's just one of them. Okay, Jamala Jones says, what about 222 and 333? Well, twos are literally the balance number. Twos are a number that just balance. They're also a number of union. And here's the thing, threes are the Trinity, but threes are also like answered prayers. Like if I have a manifestation I just set and I see the 333, I know it's on its way. Or if I pray about something and see the 333, I know my prayers have been answered. Joey Austin from Facebook says almost 2 years in awakening. Well, since 2020. That's beautiful. So if you're seeing it again, especially this morning, you're probably about to shift your level of consciousness again, because that's all that happens. We continue to vibrate higher. But on that journey of life, it's like a roller coaster. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. And in those downs, as we just talked about here, which with yogit, the down could be you're getting your heart broken, but you're here to learn, and so it raises your vibration. But then something else happens. So you'll continue to go up and down, but those ups can be new levels in the awakening, because actually it goes up like this and it continues to go up. It's not an even flat across. It starts down here and then it gets higher and then it gets higher and then it gets higher and then it gets higher, because every experience you just vibrate higher from. You'll still hit a low, but then you go up higher, and then you'll hit a low, but then you go up higher, and then you hit a low and you go up higher. And that's all we're doing is raising the vibration. But here's the thing. Sometimes we will be stuck on that middle path and we're not evolving. And how does that show up here in the physical? Well, I keep attracting, as we're talking about getting your heart broken. So let's say, as we use that example of the ex walked out and ghosted you. Well, if every guy or girl you date ghosts you, we haven't learned the lesson. So you'll stay flat like that, up and down, until you learn the lesson. But the second you learn that lesson, the next time it goes higher. And then it goes higher and it goes higher, because that's what happens. We'll hit those lows and then we vibrate higher once we learn the lesson. Okay. All right. Joey Austin from Facebook says, COVID hit. Then I realized we had been lied to the whole time, right? Wanted to raise my vibration sense. So January, pretty much like January 1st or January 5th, it was like the first few days of 2020. I started going around like obsessively saying, I had this word vomit thing where I start saying stuff and then like months later it happens. So January of 2020, I started going around saying, there's a massive awakening happening globally. There's a massive awakening happening globally. And I couldn't stop but saying it. Every conversation would come out. And then what happened, March, right? All of a sudden, at least here in the States, we got locked down. I don't know exactly when it started happening in the rest of the world. Honestly, I didn't even, to be very honest, I don't watch the news, and I know what it does to the subconscious, and I know what it does to your vibration. So I was in this, I was at this group. I went to this group, and they had the chairs go purple, red, purple, red, purple, red. And I always sit next to this girl, and they told me I couldn't sit next to her. And they told me we all had to sit in purple chairs. I was like, what if I don't want to sit in a purple chair? I want to sit in the red chair. I want to sit next to Katie. Like, what do you mean? And they're trying to tell me it's social distancing. And I'm like, what the hell is social distancing? And this guy walks in with a mask. I'm like, why is he wearing a mask? I'm like, if you're sick, why aren't you here? Or like, I didn't understand. And he's like talking about his cab driver. And he was so scared driving these cabs. And I had no idea what was going on in the world. And then all of a sudden they canceled groups after that next day. And I was like, what do you mean we can't meet up anymore? I was like literally clueless, because it's again, that world doesn't affect me. I don't live in the matrix. That's a matrix thing. And so if I invite the news in and stuff like that, it's bringing those third density vibrations. If it doesn't affect me in this now surrounding, it doesn't exist in my reality. So it doesn't exist. I promise you, it will not exist to you. Right. And so then all of a sudden they cancel the groups, and the next day the whole world's getting locked down. And I was like, what? Where did this come from? So, but anyways, I totally digressed to what I was saying. So I had no idea that this stuff was going on. And like later, all of a sudden I started finding out what's happening at the end of 2019. And so what happened with me is I started doing that word vomit, right? There's a massive awakening happening globally. So Joey, when you sit here and say you woke up in 2020, a lot of people did. That was the whole thing I was getting at here. There was a huge, massive awakening happening. That's one of the reasons it did happen. Which again, there's a lot of other stuff about it, and not even to go into conspiracy theory stuff, but just on the spiritual path, we have to get rid of those lower 3D emotions those lower 3D vibrations in order to raise our vibrations. So one of the reasons it did can't come, it kind of had to come to get us into the 5D earth. Okay, I can sit here and talk about like the 5D earth and all that stuff forever. But yeah, so and literally like I feel like most of my coaching clients now, they all come to me like, I woke up beginning of 2020. I was like, yeah, I love it. I love it. Because there was a huge massive awakening. And there'll be times again that people that it will happen. Like there was one in 2012. There's been other ones. We're due for another big one. There's been we're still kind of shifting through one. There's one going on now, but it's not the biggest of the year. But there'll be some more. Let me see. Okay, so Yoga V says yes, right? Beautiful. Joey Austin from Facebook says having to relearn everything from 40 years of false teaching. It's pretty exciting. No, that is so true because I spent 35 years in the Matrix, and in 1 year, I learned more valuable stuff than I did in 35 years, right? So the last 4+ years have been, oh my God, like it's been amazing. But you do have to relearn everything. Like a good example with that is so like I grew up in the Catholic Church and I thought God was a man in the clouds. And so when I realized reincarnation was real, I was like, whoa, there's this whole other world. This is what society told me. This is what the church told me. This is what my parents told me. And so I did have to relearn everything. And you're right, it is false teaching, Joey. Okay, Yoga V says how to heal that situation, how to come out of it. So what are we talking about? The heartbreak? How do you heal the heartbreak? I mean, literally the only way to heal anything is you have to go through it. The only way out is to go through. And so it depends on what we're at. If we're not forgiving the ex, we might have to do a forgiveness exercise. Might have to focus on ourselves, learn to love ourselves. And again, I would get down to what is your core wound, right? Because why did they leave? If they left, with that example, if they left, oh, that's why every man or woman leaves me because I have an abandonment wound. So look at the repeating pattern you have, and then we go and heal that as the wound, right? Joey Austin says, oh my God, how did you know my ex walked out on me? Listen, there's no accidents or no coincidences, right? I could have given you 50,000 different examples. She was talking about love. I could have talked about liars and cheaters and people that are addicted or gamblers, whatever. It didn't matter, but that's what came up because that's what needed to be here because you're here on the live and your guides and my guides, they make sure that I give the most relatable message. Now, sometimes, I may have hundreds of people watching and not everybody's going to relate with it. And so this example, oh, I get what you're saying. But again, that example was chosen because you were here. Okay. Brandy Shelby. Oh, I'm sorry. Branson Shelby from Facebook says, I feel like forgiving yourself and accepting is a big part of it. Kind of like what you're saying. It totally is. Like forgiveness is always of self. We always don't want to forgive because they did this to me. They need to apologize. They're in the wrong. But that's a level of victim mentality. And the second we forgive, like literally you lose weight. You can physically lose weight, but even energetically, and it does something. You'll notice it. It sets your mind free. So it really is a big part of it. You're awesome too, Joey. Thank you. All right. Are there any more questions for today's training? You guys, I totally forgot it was 4th of July weekend. My schedule's been like crazy. I had to like totally close it off for July. I was like, I can't accept any more new clients. I'm just busy. And so like I had this whole weekend planned to get caught up on some work. And I was trying to see my nieces and nephew, and I told them I was trying to have them come over Saturday morning. And so when I was talking to their parents, they were telling me their day. They're talking about like fireworks and parades, and oh my God, sorry, my cat. Oh, I'll tell you in a second. Too many stories. But they were talking about what they were going to do this weekend, and I kept hearing fireworks and parade, and I was like, what? What is happening? I was like, oh, it's 4th of July weekend. I was like, holy freaking Moses, it's 4th of July already. So my whole weekend just got shifted. I have to go. I'll be with the family. So I don't know about work, but it's very interesting. Time got away from me. Anyways, I was just trying to fill in some time here for a moment in case somebody else had a question. Oh yeah, my cat. So yeah, I guess he got off his leash. So my mom brought him inside, And he was so cute because he was like on top of the dryers. He climbed up to the top of the window and he was like pawing on it, trying to get out, trying to get my attention. So I don't know. Anyways, there's no more questions. So I think we'll wrap up today's live session, but I'll be back next Friday. We'll do some more live training. Bring your questions, anything you want to learn, anything you want to know about. That's what we're here to do on Fridays. And happy 4th, right? Enjoy your holiday weekend. Everybody have a blessed weekend. Until then, if you guys got anything out of this video, do me a favor with that thumbs up button so I know you got something and it resonated. If you guys haven't or subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and there's a bell too. I want you to hit the bell and turn on all notifications because I do daily videos and I don't want you guys to miss out on any upcoming messages. That next message just might be the message that you need to hear today. All right, my loves, see you next week. Till then, be blessed.